What up, y'all? It's your boy, Mr. Downtown Ring Melo, and you're listening to the Entertainment Report on iHeartRadio, live from Dubai for Monday, March 5th, 2018, delivering some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo, that's RAYMELO, on Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to the show anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. The romantic fantasy The Shape of Water was named the Best Picture of 2017 at the Oscar ceremonies in Los Angeles Sunday night. Guillermo del Toro earned the Best Director title for helming the story of a mute woman who falls in love with an aquatic creature held captive in the government building where she works. The ensemble includes Sally Hawkins, Doug Jones, Octavia Spencer, Michael Shannon, Michael Starbark, and Richard Jenkins. The film also won Best Production Design and Best Original Score. Frances McDormand and Sam Rockwell took home the Oscars for Best Actress and Best Supporting Actor for their performances in the dark comedy Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Gary Oldman picked up the Best Actor statuette for playing Winston Churchill in the biopic The Darkest Hour, a period drama that was also recognized with the prize for Best Makeup and Hairstyling. Allison Janney won the Best Supporting Actress award for her work in I, Tonya. Icarus was deemed Best Documentary Feature, and the Best Foreign Language Film trophy went to A Fantastic Woman from Chile. Coco was voted Best Animated Feature and won the Oscar for Best Original Song for Remember Me. The Animated Short Film Oscar was presented to Dear Basketball to Kobe Bryant. Director Christopher Nolan's World War II picture, Dunkirk, scored awards for Best Sound Mixing, Best Sound Editing, and Film Editing. The Phantom Thread won for Best Costume Design, and Blade Runner 2049 won for Best Visual Effects. At the end of Frances McDormand's speech at the 90th Annual Academy Awards, the Best Actress winner said, "I have two words for you, inclusion rider." An inclusion rider is a reference to the belief by some that there should be requirements and contracts that provide gender and racial equality. Two Broke Girls creator and creator Whitney Cummings expanded in a post Twitter Sunday night. An inclusion rider is something actors put into their contracts to ensure gender and racial equality in hiring on movie sets. We should support this for a billion reasons, but if you can't find a reason to, here's one: it'll make movies better. McDermott's mention of the writer followed a speech in which she asked every female nominee in the room to stand up and asked male gatekeepers to ask them about their projects and ideas, not just at Oscar after-parties, but in office meetings following award season. Earlier in the ceremony, several other presenters and nominees advocated for better opportunities for women in Hollywood. Emma Stone introduced nominees for Best Director by saying, "These four women," and Greta Gerwig. While presenting Best Actress, Jennifer Lawrence thanked Jodie Foster for giving her one of her first awards at 19. And when Coco's songwriters Kristen Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez won their award for original song, Anderson Lopez noted that the category was 50-50 in terms of gender representation. When you look at a category like ours, it helps to imagine a world where all the categories look like this one. Following a year that saw the rise of Me Too and Time's Up movements, as well as a flurry of exposes about powerful men in Hollywood, the ceremony also took a few minutes to note the women who told their stories. Ashley Judd, Salma Hayek, and Annabelle Sikora, three women who allegedly they had experienced sexual misconduct at the hands of Harvey Weinstein, addressed the audience. Judd said she hoped that the next 90 years of the Academy Awards will, quote, empower these limitless possibilities of equality, diversity, inclusivity, and intersectionality. That's what this year has promised us. And in a related story, Kobe Bryant on Sunday won an Oscar for his animated short documentary film, Dear Basketball, and the victory drew mixed reactions over social media. While numerous pro athletes tweeted at Bryant congratulating him on the win for the film based on his retirement letter from the NBA, there were users upset with his win, which comes in the middle of the #MeToo movement. Bryant, of course, made headlines in July 2003 when he was arrested in Eagle, Colorado on charges of sexual assault. Bryant publicly admitted he and the accuser did have relations, but he claimed it was consensual. The criminal case was dropped after Bryant's accuser refused to testify, but a civil suit was settled out of court for an undisclosed sum. Part of the suit involved Bryant's apology, although he never admitted at fault. Twitter users, many unhappy with Bryant, criticized the win, and some even posted their apologies. Founder and publisher of Women in Hollywood's Melissa Silverstein tweeted, Kobe Bryant gets the biggest cheer for coming into the interview room. Gross, hashtag complicit. Renee Bracey Sherman, the reproductive justice activist, tweeted, Kobe Bryant just won an Oscar. Rape accusations really do ruin a man's career. Hashtag Oscars. And sports reporter Julie DiCaro tweeted, Kobe Bryant was arrested, charged with rape, and convinced the victim to drop the charges. After a comedic black and white video introducing some of the night's honored guests, Jimmy Kimmel took to the stage for his second consecutive Oscars monologue on Sunday night. Kimmel began by addressing last year's so-called envelope gate mix-up where La La Land was accidentally awarded the Best Picture Oscar instead of Moonlight. He says, I do want to mention this year when you hear your name called, don't get up right away, he joked. Also saying that last year, about a week before the show, the producers asked me if I wanted to do some comedy with the accountants. Kimmel said no, so then the accountants went and did some comedy of their own. This year, he said the chairman of the accounting firm in charge of handling out envelopes, PricewaterhouseCoopers, said that their focus will be on the show and deliver the right envelopes. Kimmel joked, just out of curiosity though, what was your focus the other 89 years? Kimmel then alluded to the fact that Sunday's ceremony marked the Academy's 90th birthday. Kimmel joked, Oscar is 90 years old this year, which means he's probably at home watching Fox News. Kimmel said, Oscar is the most beloved and respected man in Hollywood, just look at him, knowing that the statue keeps his hands where everyone can see them and has no penis. He is literally a statue of limitations. He said that over the course of the evening, he hoped guests would listen to the people from the hashtag #MeToo and Time's Up movements. He said this is a night for positivity, adding that the night would shine a light on inspiring films, each one of which was crushed by Black Panther this weekend. He continued, I remember a time when the major studios didn't believe a woman or a minority could open a superhero movie, and I remember that time because it was March of last year. Kimmel also mentioned that the ceremony had its first female nominee for cinematography, Rita Morrison, and that Greta Gerwig was the only female nominee in the directing category. He says, if you're a nominee tonight who is not making history, shame on you. He then addressed the pay disparity story relating to All the Money in the World reshoots, where stars Mark Wahlberg and Michelle Williams were paid vastly different amounts, though they were represented by the same agency, WME. Kimmel joked, this story really shook me because if we can't trust agents, who can we trust? Addressing first-time nominee Jordan Peele, director of Get Out, Kimmel said, none other than President Trump called Get Out the best first three-quarters of a movie this year. Kimmel then turned his attention to The Shape of Water directed by Guillermo del Toro, which led the fields with 13 nominations. Kimmel joked, thanks to Guillermo, we will always remember this year as the year men screwed up so badly, women started dating fish. He invited all winners to speak about whatever they wanted and said that the Academy Awards offered an important platform for their message. He pointed out that the March of Our Lives, organized by the survivors of the Parkland, Florida shootings, could be a potential topic of acceptance speeches or thanked parents. That said, Kimmel announced that the winner, who gives the shortest speech of the evening, would get a green Kawasaki jet ski. Helen Mirren presented it like a game show hostess. Kimmel added, in the unlikely event of a tie, the jet ski will be awarded to Christopher Plummer. Later in the evening, Kimmel returned to the topic of envelope gate, saying, at the first Oscars, they gave out 2 awards for Best Picture, kind of what we did last year. Guests tweeted before the ceremony that Kimmel left a box filled with snacks, Listerine strips, and other goodies beneath every seat at the Dolby Theater. Kimmel wrote in an accompanied letter, it wouldn't be right to make you sit through this without snacks. Please don't throw them at me. During last year's monologue, the Jimmy Kimmel Live cracked several jokes about President Donald Trump and his friend and Fox nemesis Matt Damon. He also memorably brought writers on a Hollywood tour bus into the ceremony, one joke sketch, and diffused tension during Envelope Gate by joking that it was his fault that the envelopes were mixed up. He said, I blame myself for this. We got to see some extra speeches. I knew I would screw this show up. I really did. I promise I'll never come back. Rita Moreno says the gown she wore to Sunday's Oscar ceremony is the same one she had on when she won her own statuette for West Side Story in 1962. Moreno, who's 86, told ABC on the red carpet before the gala that the black and gold gown was made in the Philippines, but she did not name the designer. She reflected on her win for Best Supporting Actress 56 years ago. I did not expect to win. I thought Judy Garland would. Garland was nominated for a role in Judgment at Nuremberg. Moreno teased on Twitter last week, "Wait till you see what I'm wearing." Moreno can now be seen on the Netflix sitcom One Day at a Time. Disney released a trailer for its upcoming family movie Mary Poppins Returns during Sunday's ABC broadcast of the Oscar ceremony. The 90-second clip shows Lin Manuel Miranda, who plays London Street lamplighter Jack, riding a bicycle as a storm approaches and the wind starts to blow leaves and a kite around town. A little boy picks up the kite up, and Miranda's character helps him fly it. As they look up at the sky, the cloud part, and the figures of Mary Poppins, played by Emily Blunt, begins to magically descend. She's later seen in a house admiring herself in a mirror. Michael Banks, who plays Ben Wishwa, says, "Mary Poppins is wonderful to see you." Mary replies, "Yes, it is, isn't it?" The film is set for a Christmas release. It was directed by Rob Marshall from a screenplay by David McGee and screen story by McGee, Marshall, and John DeLuca based upon the Mary Poppins story by P.L. Travers. The sequel to 1964's Mary Poppins features Blunt as the practically perfect nanny with unique magical skills who can turn any task into an unforgettable, fantastic adventure. The ensemble also includes Emily Mortimer, Judy Walters, Colin Firth, Meryl Streep, Angela Lansbury, and Dick Van Dyke. Van Dyke co-starred with Julie Andrews in the original Mary Poppins. Diane Keaton, Jane Fonda, Candace Bergen, Mary Steenburgen, Don Johnson, Craig T. Nelson, and Andy Garcia appear in Friday's trailer for the upcoming comedy Book Club. The 2.5-minute preview shows the female members of the titular group reading the erotic thriller 50 Shades of Grey and finding it renews their interest in sex and romance. Directed by Bill Halderman, the film is due in theaters May 18th. Real Housewives of New York stars bring the drama in a first season 10 trailer. The new season will feature Bethany Frankel's feud with Carol Raswell, with the death of Jill Zarin's husband Bobby Zarin and Luann de Lesseps' arrest. Frankel explained in a confessional shot that she's not sure Carol's excited to see her as she used to be. The pair are then seen clashing at what appears to be a 1920s themed Christmas party. Raswell says in the preview, "Every time we're together, you're aggressive with me." Frankel responds that's not the case. In contrast, Frankel is seen comforting Zarin following Bobby's death in January. The pair had stopped speaking in 2010 following conflicts on the show, but reconciled at Bobby's funeral, according to Page 6. Zarin tearfully asked Frankel in the clip, "What am I going to do? I've never been alone since I'm 20 years old." De Lesseps, meanwhile, is shown returning from rehab in January after seeking treatment for alcohol abuse. The television personality was arrested and charged with disorderly intoxication and battery on a police officer in December. She said during a phone call, "I've been traveling, I've been in prison, and I just want to be close to home." The Real Housewives of New York co-stars Ramona Singer, Sonia Morgan, Dorina Melody, and Tinsley Mortimer. Season 10 premieres April 4th on Bravo. Kevin Smith's daughter says the star is doing better than ever following a massive heart attack. Holly Quinn Smith, who's 18, gave an update on her father Kevin in an Instagram post Thursday after the 47-year-old actor and director had a will maker heart attack Monday, February 26. Harley Quinn captioned a throwback photo with her dad. "Thank you so much for the outpouring of love in the past few days. He is thankfully home now and doing better than ever, but this has been the most terrifying experience of my life." She said, "My dad is a goddamn force to be reckoned with, and although I'm thankful for him every day, this is just a real reminder of how insanely lucky I am to have him. Thank you so much for all your kind words during this ordeal." Kevin Smith was filming a new stand-up special Monday in Glendale, California, when he started feeling ill and canceled his second show to head to the hospital. Doctors discovered the star had a 100% blockage of his LAD artery. He said in a post announcing the news, "If I hadn't canceled the second show to have gone to the hospital, the doctor said I would have died tonight." Kevin said in the post Wednesday that he is home again and feeling good after the ordeal. He posted a photo Thursday of a gift from the Disney Channel that was addressed to actor Kevin James as an inside joke. The actor explained, "At Disney Channel, just won the prize for the funniest gift when they send these cookies. Last week I was telling the folks there that a certain percentage I meet always calls me at hashtag Kevin James. So this is an insanely well-timed joke." Jennifer Lawrence is setting records straight on Brad Pitt dating rumors. The 27-year-old actress denied the romance on Thursday's episode of Watch What Happens Live, but said she wasn't bothered by the speculation. She said of the reports, "No, I've met him once in like 2013, so it was very random. But I also wasn't like in a huge hurry to debunk it." Lawrence was linked to Pitt in December following her split from Darren Aronofsky. She said friend and fellow actress Amy Schumer helped her cheer her up in the wake of her breakup with the Mother director. The star recounted, "When Darren and I first broke up, I told Amy, and I was really sad. Then," she said, "the next day I got a bouquet of flowers delivered, and I was like, what is this? I bring the bouquet of flowers in, and there was a note that says, 'I'm so sorry to hear you're going to die alone. Love, Amy.'" Lawrence and Aronofsky called it quits in October after a year of dating. The actress said on Monday's episode of WTF with Mark Maron podcast that she still loves the 49-year-old director. She says, "I was in love with him for 2 years. I still love him very much." Lawrence was next star in the movie Red Sparrow, which opens in theaters on Friday. Kylie Jenner holds daughter Stormi close in a pair of new photos. The 20-year-old television personality gave fans a first glimpse of her daughter's face on an Instagram slideshow Thursday, 1 month after welcoming the infant with boyfriend rapper Travis Scott. The pictures showed Jenner cradling Stormi as she posed in front of what appears to be a white garage door. The new mom wears a tracksuit in a natural print with Stormi in a white onesie with bunny ears. Jenner captioned the post, "My angel baby is 1 month old today." Scott also celebrated Stormi's 1 month milestone. The 25-year-old rapper shared a photo on Snapchat of Stormi wearing a pink daddy sweater. He wrote, "My little mama, 1 month old today, her favorite unit, of course." Jenner gave birth to her daughter on February 1st, following months of speculations about her pregnancy. People reported this week that the reality star has become, quote, "a really, really, really great mom." Source says she's incredibly doting and hands-on as a mom. She's always been very maternal. Insider added, Kylie and Travis are going strong, and he's been as helpful as possible. Jenner launched a new Kylie Cosmetics makeup range, the Weather Collection, Wednesday, that was inspired by Stormi. The collection includes new eyeshadow palettes, Miami-Dade formula lipsticks, and a highlight palette. Hamilton creator Lin Manuel Miranda, singer-songwriter Weird Al Yankovic, and talk show host Jimmy Fallon lip sync and dance to Yankovic's epic new song parody, The Hamilton Polka, on Friday's episode of The Tonight Show. Set to the accordion, the fast-paced song condescends and lampoons the soundtrack from Miranda's wildly popular Tony Award-winning musical. Miranda, who was wearing a t-shirt with Yankovic's face emblazoned on it, said he was honored when he heard the Satyrs wanted to write and record a Hamilton parody. He added that when he finally got to hear the song, he had tears of joy streaming down his cheek. Miranda went on to say, Questlove, the Tonight Show's music director, called him immediately after he gave the song a listen and said, "Yo, Questlove, when forget your Pulitzer, your genius grant is nothing. You've been immortalized by Weird Al. You're done, you've peaked." Miranda agreed, "It's true, it's the greatest." The four men laughed, and Questlove nodded to confirm Miranda's recollection of the events. Fallon told Yankovic, "You have to understand what an honor it is," who smiled and hung his head in modesty. ABC says it plans to air a sneak peek at its new talk show Sundays with Alec Baldwin after this weekend's Oscar ceremony. 8 additional episodes of the hour-long program are slated to air later this year. The show will feature one-on-one conversations between Baldwin and well-known figures from American pop culture. Baldwin said in a statement, "I'm excited about this show and grateful for ABC to take a chance on me in what is admittedly a crowded field. I enjoyed doing my podcast for WNYC and look forward to challenges of doing a show on camera." Channing Dungey, the president of ABC Entertainment, says Alec's intellect, wit, and wealth of life experience afford him a voice and perspective we haven't seen before in this format. When we shot the pilot, we knew immediately we had something special that we couldn't wait to share. We're excited to be working on a series that showcases Alex as one of today's most compelling conversationalists and highlights the type of intimate discussions he has captured on his podcast for years. Baldwin's credits include Saturday Night Live, 30 Rock, The Departed, and Beetlejuice. And speaking of Saturday Night Live, it aired a sketch this weekend lampooning the sexual harassment scandals that have rocked Hollywood in the months leading up to Sunday's Oscar ceremony. Voice said over a screen view of the Los Angeles skyline, and now the Academy of Sexual Harassment and Misconduct in Hollywood presents the Grammys, celebrating this year's worst behavior in entertainment. The segment included red carpet interviews with fictional celebrities who showed no shame or remorse for their abusive behavior. Categories include handiest actor, most open robe, best non-apology, first woman accused, and the Cecil B. Molestin Lifetime Achievement Award. Attendees were present with swag bags that include gift certificates to Massage Envy. Alex Moffat, Pete Davidson, Kenan Thompson, Charles Barkley, Addie Bryant, and Kate McKinnon appeared in the sketch. The joke stemmed from the recent real-life abuse accusations lodged against Hollywood heavyweights such as Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, Brett Ratner, Casey Affleck, Bill Cosby, Ryan Seacrest, Matt Lauer, Woody Allen, and Bryan Singer. Gwyneth Paltrow posted a shirtless photo of fiancé Brad Falchuk on his 47th birthday. The 45-year-old actress gushed about the writer and producer in an Instagram post on his birthday Thursday. Paltrow shared a black and white photo of Falchuk standing shirtless in a rustic location. The American Horror Story co-creator wears a towel around his waist while holding his clothes in his hands. Paltrow captioned the post, "Happy birthday, Brad Falchuk. You are the grounding force, the epitome of love and kindness. Thank you for being my beacon." Paltrow confirmed her engagement to Falchuk in an issue on Goop magazine in January after more than 3 years of dating. She said in a statement at the time that she feels incredibly lucky to have found the producer. The star said, "We feel incredibly lucky to have come together at this juncture of our lives when our collective successes and failures can serve as building blocks for a healthy and happy relationship." Paltrow and Falchuk looked a happy couple while celebrating Valentine's Day together the next month. Falchuk captioned a photo of himself and Paltrow sharing a kiss. V-Day dinner last night. Thanks at Justice Sanfield for the recipes. #FoodSwings. Paltrow was previously married to Coldplay singer Chris Martin, for whom she split in 2014 after 10 years of marriage. She shares 13-year-old daughter Apple and 11-year-old Moses with the recording artist. And passing to a report, Emmy Award-winning actor David Ogden Stiers has died in his Oregon home following a battle with bladder cancer. He was 75. Representative Mitchell Stubbs of Mitchell K. Stubbs and Associates said in a statement to the Hollywood Reporter Saturday, "My dear friend and client of 30 years is gone. David had wisdom and talent in so many different areas. I wish people could have known the beautiful heart that he had. His friends and family knew, as he told us so." Stiers is best known for playing U.S. Army Major Charles Emerson Winchester III in MASH from 1977 to 1983. He also was memorably lent his voice to the character of Cogsworth the Clock in Disney's 1991 animated classic Beauty and the Beast. He won his Emmy in 1984 for his performance in the first Olympics, Athens 1896. His other credits include the films Better Off Dead and Creator, the miniseries North and South, the TV series The Dead Zone, and the cartoon Spirited Away, Pocahontas, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and Lilo and Stitch. He appeared in several Perry Mason TV movies in the 80s as well. He continued to do voiceover work in video games and anime projects until 2015. Outside of acting, Stiers served as the resident conductor of the Newport Symphony and guest conducted for more than 70 orchestras around the world, Deadline reported. Stiers was 75. Rap mogul Rick Ross is hospitalized in Florida, and machines have taken over the role of his heart and lungs. TMZ reported the 42-year-old's musician's loved ones are at his side in a Miami area medical facility. He's being treated in the cardiac unit, suggesting the medical emergency he suffered Thursday morning was a heart attack with added respiratory issues that might have been related to pneumonia. The Davies Police Department confirmed the medical crisis to Billboard Friday, saying someone phoned 911 after Ross, who had a history of seizures, was found unresponsive in his home. The police were called when Ross became combative with the paramedics who arrived to help him. Billboard said Ross's representatives did not respond to requests for comment. TMZ says his family has denied he is on life support or even hospitalized. British pop star Sir Elton John says he left the stage during his concert Thursday in Las Vegas because a fan became rude and disruptive. The famed musician said in a statement posted to social media Saturday that he routinely invites concert goers to gather around his piano when he performs the party song Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. But on Thursday, one man put his hands on John's piano keys and tried to take photos as John was performing the song. John wrote, I bring fans on stage every evening when we play Saturday night in the set. It is always a lovely part of the show when I get to meet them, shake their hands, and have them right there with me while I play. They have always been very courteous to the fact that we're in the middle of playing the song live. This guy was rude, disruptive, and had no care or respect for our show, and so I let him know how I feel, then left the stage until they had removed him. E! said that the 70-year-old entertainer was videotaped storming off the stage and telling the offending fan, "You fucked it up." He returned moments later after the guy left and sang The Circle of Life. Black Panther, the album music from and inspired by, is number 1 in the Billboard 200 albums charts for a second week. Coming in number 2 on the U.S. album charts is Migos Culture 2, followed by The Greatest Showman soundtrack at number 3, Nipsey Hussle with Victory's Lap at number 4, and Brandy Carlisle, but By the Way, I Forgive You at number 5. Rounding up the top tier are Justin Timberlake's Man of the Woods at number 6, Ed Sheeran's Divide at number 7, Kendrick Lamar's Damn at number 8, Post Malone's Stoney at number 9, and the 50 Shades Freed soundtrack at number 10. In a related story, Black Panther is again the number 1 movie in North America for a third weekend, earning an additional $65.7 million in receipts, BoxOfficeMojo.com announced Sunday. Coming in number 2 is Red Sparrow with $17 million, followed by Death Wish at number 3 with $13 million, Game Night at number 4 with $10.7 million, and Peter Rabbit at number 5 with $10 million. Rounding up the top tier are Annihilation, number 6 with $5.7 million, Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, number 7 with $4.5 million, 50 Shades Freed at number 8 with $3.3 million, The Greatest Showman at number 9 with $2.7 million, and Every Day at number 10 with $1.6 million. And now let's take a look at what happened on this date in entertainment history. On this date in 1969, Jim Morrison is charged with lewd behavior at a Miami concert. The Dade County Sheriff's Office issued a warrant arrest for Doors lead singer Jim Morrison. He is charged with a single felony count and 3 misdemeanors for his stage antics at a Miami concert a few days earlier. When Morrison first got word of the charges for lewd and lascivious behavior, indecent exposure, profanity, and drunkenness, he thought it was a practical joke. But he soon learned that Miami authorities were entirely serious. In fact, they later added an additional charge, simulating oral copulation on guitarist Robbie Krieger during the concert. The trial did not begin until September 1970, when the prosecution tried out witnesses who claimed to be shocked at the scene that they had witnessed at the Doors concert. However, virtually every witness was somehow connected to the police or the district attorney's office. There was some question as to whether the popular singer had even actually exposed himself on stage. But there was little doubt that he was so drunk that he had been able to do little more than mumble during the show. Morrison turned down a plea bargain arrangement where the band would play a free concert in Miami. This turned out to be a mistake, as he was convicted and sentenced to 6 months in prison and a $500 fine. Morrison died in Paris before he could serve the sentence. 20 years later, Dade County, Florida, once again placed itself in the middle of a rock concert controversy when they prosecuted 2 Live Crew for alleged obscenity on stage. In December 2010, Jim Morrison received a posthumous pardon by the state of Florida, thanks in part to the efforts of outgoing Governor Charlie Crist, who cited lingering doubts about the singer's actions. And that is your entertainment report for Monday, March 5th, 2018. I'm your host, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo. I'll be back tomorrow to deliver some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo. That's RAYMELO. On Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to this episode or any previous episodes of The Entertainment Report anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app. Search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Good night, and God bless you all.